Hey guys, welcome to week 22, day one video. We're going to do a quick video this time around because a lot of this stuff is just a slight jump from what we were doing last week. So last week we learned to translate expressions, which means write them from words, evaluate expressions, which means plug in a value, um, and simplify expressions by combining like terms, which is what we're going to look at when it comes to the starter. So this is a great review because it kind of has a little bit of everything on it. And then we'll move into today's lesson, which is distributive property. If you can work through the content with me, you'll be just fine. Now, as we move forward, we're moving at a pretty quick pace. I don't want you to forget the small things that we talk about on each individual topic. For example, when we were talking about combining like terms, we were talking about using a highlighter. Highlighter can be very effective. There's other ways. I mean, you could use piece of paper and pencil, of course. I think that's a great way to do it as well. I'm going to go ahead and start using my highlighter. We're going to look at 1, 2, and 3 first, and then 4 we're going to do separate. So I want you to pause the video, try working through 1, 2, and 3 on your own. And then here in a few seconds, when you get that done, I want you to go ahead and click play, and we'll pick up where you left off. All right, I'm going to switch to green here. I've got M's and P's, elemental P, so M comes first, so I'm going to highlight my M's. And if you'll see a quick reminder of last time, we always highlight the sign in front of the stuff as well. So let's go to the P. So I do plus 7P and then plus P. So we do our M's first because it's first in the alphabet. And that's not some ironclad rule. It's just what a lot of people practice. So negative 6M minus 3M is negative 9M. And then 7P plus P is 8P. Now, I can't just plug 8P right up next to it. It's positive 8P, so I need to put a plus sign there. All right, let's try this next one here. Same thing. We need our highlighter. I'm going to go with a different set of colors. Let's go purple this time. So element OP, M again. So M is first. Negative 3M minus 3M. Okay, and then I'm going to go yellow, 3P, and 3P. Okay. Now, I had a couple people think that some of these canceled out, but in this situation, neither one does. Because if I'm looking at my purple, I'm looking at negative 3M minus 3M. Well, if I look at that's minus 6M or negative 6M. Now, let's look at our yellow. 3P plus 3P. Well, that's going to be positive 6P, so we're going to do plus 6P. So as you go through these, it really is take your time and make sure you add the correct letters together. The order doesn't matter as much, but you really should just make it a practice of putting them in alphabetical order. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. I've got A's and B's, so I'm going to start with my A's. 7A. I've got minus 13A, and then I'm going to switch over to a different color and get my B's here. B and then B. It may be even easier to not use the highlighter and just use your pencil so you can circle and box or underline your like terms. That's one thing that like if we were in class, we wouldn't be using highlighters probably. We'd probably do more of like symbols around each like term. Let me jump over to my mouse. I'm going to jump down here. So I've got A's and B's. Going to do my A's first. This is a little trickier because you end up in the negative numbers. 7A minus 13A. I'm going to go past 0 and move 6 spots past 0. That's negative 6A. And then 7B minus 11B. 7 minus 11 is negative 4, so negative 4B. And we've got the green line. We've got our points there. All right, let's take a look at the next one. I'm going to grab my highlighter. I'm not going to do the A's and the B's separately. I'm just going to highlight my A's. And then my B's, they're white. Together, they're white, so I don't need to worry about that. Let's go ahead and jump on my mouse. And it says negative 5 minus 12. Careful here. Do not be afraid to grab a calculator. I have one sitting by me at all times. If I feel uncomfortable or not confident in my answer, I would grab one. In this one, I think I can do negative 5 minus 12. I'm going to get negative 17A. And then it says 2B minus 3B. So I might be thinking minus 1B because if I do 2 minus 3, it gets me negative 1. 2 minus 3 gets me negative 1 there. So, but it's not correct. Well, in this situation, whenever you have a 1 or a negative 1 out front, you don't put the 1 there. They'd be like, "Hey guys, I have 1 car." Well, we most people have 1 car. How about I have a car? That's how most people say it. They don't have to necessarily put that 1 out front to show you how many they've got. We just kind of say a car. Same thing. So it's negative 17a minus b or ab. So that's kind of how I think of it. Let's take a look at number 3. These are writing expressions. Both of these are relatively easy when it comes to writing them. So just take your time and make sure you do it. So it says write a numerical expression below. Add 14 and x. Well, 14 plus x. Now, could I do x plus 14? Let's see. Oops. X plus 14. Sure. So there's properties of addition that allow you to flip around in order, or commutative property says, oh, you can do x plus 14 or 14 plus x. I like to keep it in the order that they give it to you in personally. The product of 6 and y. Well, to do a number times a letter, you just put them next to each other, and we're good. So that one wasn't too bad. Let's take a look at number 4. It's probably the hardest of these. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this. We know that if this is 4x, that means this side must be 4x, right? I think we can all agree on that. And then on the bottom, we can also agree that it's going to be 2 minus x because it has to be the same as the top. All right, so I've got this all sandwiched out. So the question is, write an expression to find the perimeter of the rectangle below. How do you find perimeter? How do you find perimeter? Don't you need to add up all the sides, right? So let me grab my highlighter. I'm going to add 4x plus 2 minus x. So let me grab my paper here. 4x plus, and we have to add these sides, 2 minus x plus, what's the next side? 4x plus 4x. So I'm going to write plus 4x here. Plus, and what's our last side? 2 minus x. Okay, so plus 2 minus x. Now, we've never done one maybe this large, but there's no reason to overthink it. If I had a highlighter, I maybe highlight all my x's and then highlight my 2's because they're constants. In this situation, I'm going to do 4x minus x plus 4x minus x. All right, 4x minus x is 3x plus 4x is 7x minus x is 6x. All right, and then I need to bring down my 2's. 2 here and 2 here make a total of positive 4, 6x plus 4. Let's try that. Grab my mouse. 6x minus 4, 6x minus, or sorry, plus 4. Plus 4. Done. So as you go through it, I know that you've maybe never done perimeter with variables involved, but we knew to add them up. And once we wrote out our expression, we knew that these x's had to go together. And as you get better at things, maybe you don't need to circle or highlight, and that's fine. But I'll be honest with you, the people who carry on that strategy throughout have a better accuracy, level of accuracy. So while you may be able to get by with getting 80% of them right if you don't highlight your first round, they maybe are getting 95% of their questions right because they have a good strategy and they've got a foundation to do to get the correct answers. All right, let's jump over to slide 2. There's not too many terribly long slides today. We're going to run through as many as we can. I am not going to do the U-tries, and then we'll do the challenge at the end. So that'll give you an opportunity to move forward. Let me grab my pencil. So when you're doing distributive property, the secret here is this says 5 times everything inside. So you have to do 5 times the first one and 5 times the second thing. And you just got to keep in mind your negative numbers if there are negative numbers involved. So in this first one, there aren't any, but you would do 5 times 4x, that gets you 20x, and 5 times 7x, or sorry, 5 times 7, which gets you 35. If you bring down your plus sign, you're good. Now it gets a little bit more complicated. This one says negative 7 times 2x minus 4. Now I did put like an extra underline right under the minus 4 because you got to be careful. Negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. I think most of us would get that. Here's where people get caught. It's -7 times. Remember when we said the sign in front of it kind of counts as part of that number? -7 times -4 would be positive 28. Positive 28. So treat that as one number when you multiply the second or third numbers in the parentheses. We'll have a chance to see that here. So I'm going to draw my lines. I think that's important to show what we're doing. 5 times -2 is -10x, -10x. And then 5 times 8 is positive 40, so plus 40. And not too bad. Not too bad on that one. Let's take a look at the second one. I'm going to grab my mouse, go -4 times 5x, and then -4 times -10. Take our time here because we want to make sure that we don't do anything goofy. -4 times 5x is -20x. -20x. Negative times a positive is a negative. Now, careful here. -4 times, and remember, we're treating this entire number. Oops, let's undo that. Thought I grabbed the highlighter. We're treating this 10 as -10. We're treating that 10 as -10. All right, so -4 times -10 would be positive 40. So we do plus 40, and we're good. I'm going to give you a few seconds to see if you can beat me on these two, and then we're going to jump down and meet on Challenge Yourself. So now would be a good time to pause, knock these two out. If you have questions about those, make sure you send me a campus message. We'll set up a time outside of class. All right, let's go ahead and jump down to Challenge Yourself. All right, guys, this is where we're headed. This is where we're headed. So, in this situation, you'll see this number outside the parentheses. That's not something we haven't seen so far. But don't make it overly complicated because all that is that has nothing to do with the parentheses at all. We end up doing something with that after we're done with the parentheses. So we can't combine the like terms inside. So we need to go ahead and distribute here, and then I'm going to get 5 times 4x is 20x, and then 5 times -10 is -50, and then plus 10x. Now, when I do that, I need to combine the two x's, just like we do distributive property first, and then we do what we have been doing, combining like terms. So I know that I can combine my 20x and my plus 10x. That'd be a total of 30x. And then I need to bring down my minus 50. So 30x minus 50. So as you go through these, you've got to keep up with your negative signs. I think that's the biggest thing that people have trouble with. Otherwise, just distribute, then combine like terms every time. All right, let's jump over to slide 3. I'm going to do 3 of these, and that's it. I want you to try to work out the other ones. I will do some pretty tough ones. So I will do, let me grab my highlighter again. I'm going to do number 9. It's a hard one. I'm going to do number 6. That's a pretty tough one. I'm going to do number 2. 2, 6, 9. All right. Let's start with number 2. I'm going to grab my mouse, and I'll be honest with you. When we're getting into stuff this level of complexity, I'm writing this down on paper. I lose track of stuff if I don't, and that's my advice for you as well. So, all right, here we are. I'm going to go ahead, start with distributive property like we did in the previous question and that challenge problem. So 8 times -3 is -24. 8 times -5r is -40r. And then bring down your plus 4r because it's not inside the parentheses. It doesn't get multiplied by 8. I had lots of people goof up on this operation. Guys, use a calculator. If you can't do -40 plus 4 in your head, that's okay. I mean, we gotta get better at that, but use a calculator to combine these. So I like to put my letter first, so that'd be -40r plus 4r, which is not -44r. It is -36r. Because if I grab my calculator, I would go on -40 plus 4. And that's the amount of time it took for me to get the correct answer there. Now I need to take my constant. I like to put my constant second, so that's -24. So I put -24. And that should be my answer. Let's see, -36r minus 24, -36r minus 24. And we're good. So again, combine like terms and then, or sorry, distribute, then combine like terms. Let's try number 6 here. Let me write it real quick, and then we'll jump onto it. 8 times negative 4k minus 6 in parentheses plus 7. All right. Again, if you need to use the pause button to catch up with me, that'd be a good strategy. Let's go ahead, cross multiply, cross multiply. That gets me 8 times negative 4, which is negative 32k. 8 times negative 6 would be negative 48. And then plus 7. Now, again, I like to keep my variables first. So I'm going to keep my negative 32k, and there's nothing that goes with it. So I'm just going to bring it down. So negative 32k, and then 48, negative 48 plus 7. There's no reason to guess that, guys. There's no reason. So negative 48 plus 7. Get negative 41, so minus 41. And we're done. Don't like guess these just for the fun of it. If you don't feel confident in your answers when you're doing these in your head, grab a calculator. And you know what? Even if you do feel confident, it's always good to check your answer with a calculator just to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So I got negative 32k minus 41. Let's try that. Negative 32k minus 41. And we're good. All right, last but not least, I've got number 9. This one's the one that gave most people the most problems. So let's see if we can figure this one out. Negative 9w plus 6. All right. So when I look into this problem, I think it's really important that you understand that I think of this as negative 2. So when I'm distributing this, right, that's what we do first. I'm not distributing times 2. I'm distributing by negative 2. And that people mess that up every year, every question. It happens all the time. So you have to think of that second number as negative when you're distributing here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my negative 3w first. Negative 3w. And then negative 2 times negative 9w would be negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 9 is 18w. Negative 2 times positive 6 is negative 12. Negative 12. Okay, and then negative 3 plus 18w is 15w minus 12. And that's it. Let's see if that works. Go to number 9, 15w minus 12. And we're in good shape. Guys, now would be a good time to do the pause button. I will not be doing any more on this page, so you'll need to knock this out. I would highly recommend doing this before jumping over to the next page. All right, I'm going to do my last 3 problems. I'm going to do 7. Let's see, 7, 10, and 12. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to move pretty quickly because I've got class coming up. I can't miss you guys in person for recordings at where you're not here. All right, here's 7. So number 7 says 3 times n plus 7. So what these first questions are trying to really get at, it's showing that you're multiplying 3 by each part. So that would get you 3n, and that would get me 21. So let's fill that one in real quick. That really didn't require work. So 3 times n would be the first thing we did. So 3 times n. 3 times 7 would be the second part. So I put 7. 3 times n is 3n, and 3 times 7 is. All right, let's jump to number 10. I've got 4 times 3 plus 4x minus 2. All right, so we've never done one with 3 terms inside. Don't let that, just again, it's 4 times everything inside. That's what that means. So 4 times each of these, in this case, because they're all in parentheses, we're going to multiply each one of them by 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16x, positive 16x. And then 4 times negative 2 is minus 8. I like to do my variables first when I get to this, so I'm going to go ahead and bring my 16x down. There's nothing that combines with it, so I don't need to worry about that. And then I've got 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is 4, and that's positive 4, so I do plus 4. That's going to be your answer, 16x plus 4. Again, keeping up with understanding 12 minus 8 is positive 4. A lot of people might have put in the subtraction there just because the subtraction sign above it. In this situation, it's going to be positive. All right, when you're dealing with fractions and decimals, I don't want you to overthink it again. Just use a calculator if you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. So this one's negative 2.5 times negative 3 plus 4 n plus 8. All right, so I'm going to distribute to each one of these and then combine like terms at the end. Now, if we think about order of operations, it says that we should be doing stuff inside parentheses first, but it's okay that we distribute instead. You can do this either way. I could do negative 3 plus 8 right now, go ahead and simplify the inside of parentheses before I distribute, and that would work. You could do that. But I'm going to go ahead and just distribute. So I got negative 2.5 times negative 3. That's going to get me positive because negative times a negative. And 2.5 times 3 is 7.5. Negative 2.5 times 4. Well, negative times a positive would be negative. And then 2.5 times 4 would be 10. And then bring your n with it. Negative 2.5 times 8. Negative times a positive is a negative. And then 2.5 times 8. Well, 8 times 2 is 16. And then that half of an 8 would be 20. So it's going to be minus 20. All right. At this point, I need to combine like terms, but I'm going to go ahead and take my n out of the way. There's nothing that goes with it. So I need to do 7.5 minus 20. 7.5 minus 20. Those are both constants. Those are not easy to do. So I would highly recommend grabbing a calculator here. So I've got 7.5 minus 20. Oh, it's not even on. 7.5 minus 20. And I've got negative 12.5. Negative 12.5. Let's see if that is what our answer is. Hopefully I didn't goof up anywhere. Negative 10n minus 12.5. Okay. Those are the questions I'm going to do. Again, with this fraction one, just take your time and work your way through it and see if you can distribute it. Use a calculator if you need to. Guys, there are a couple tough ones on this page. If you need help, reach out and send me a Canvas message, and I'll be glad to work with you on that. Otherwise, I'll see all of you all in your next scheduled class.